I triple dog dare you. Oh, I jumped ahead. Sorry. I double dare you. Double dog dare you. Triple dare you. Triple dog dare you. Whatever the protocol is, the proper one, that's what I want to do. Now, here's what happens in the movie.
You're full of beans and so's your old man. Oh, yeah? Yeah! Says who? Says me. Oh, yeah? Yeah! I double dare you.
The exact exchange and nuance of phrase in this ritual is very important.
Are you kidding? Stick my tongue to that stupid pole, that's dumb. That's because you know it'll stick. You're full of it. Oh, yeah? Yeah! Well, I double dog dare you.
Now it was serious. A double dog dare. What else was left but a triple dare you? And finally, the coup de grace of all dares, the sinister triple
really
dog dare.
I triple dog dare you.
Schwartz created a slight breach of etiquette by skipping the triple dare and going right for the throat.
All right.
Okay, so you saw that. Now, what's going on there? I want to step back from it a little bit and talk about that scene from the standpoint of Jean Shepherd, the screenwriter, because this whole business of what happens here with the daring and the tongue to the pole is not just about daring and the tongue to the pole. It's something far deeper. Jean Shepherd, the screenwriter who I knew, was a parabolic storyteller. He told stories that had deeper meanings. And what's going on here in that scene is something that Shepherd told me is anthropological. It's anthropological. It has to do with human culture. Whoa, this sounds kind of academic. Excuse me, I do have a PhD, by the way, piled higher and deeper PhD. So you better listen to me on this. Shepherd always gave me a hard time about PhDs and professors and all. He was not too keen on them in general, and I understand why. But what he was trying to get at here, as I understood him, is that we human beings get together and we form societies, and then within societies we form culture. Culture is a way of life. A way of life. And a culture have different aspects to them. They have things like artifacts, computers, and other things that we create, cars, leg lamps. That's part of culture. Culture includes language. Okay, every culture has its own language. And culture includes, get this, the rituals by which we use the language to accomplish things. The rituals by which we use language to accomplish things. So when you and I think every day about language, we might just think that we're telling stories or we're communicating things. Please pass the salt, and the salt gets passed to us, or something like that. And that's all true. There's a lot of messaging back and forth. And we could talk about communication in terms of sending and receiving messages. But Shepherd had a view that was anthropological. His view was that when we get together and form culture, we create rules or rituals. There's the anthropological term. We create rituals. We use language in ritualistic ways. Hey, how you doing? Fine. How are you doing? Fine. Nice to see you today. Nice to see you too. So much of life is rituals. If I use the word ritual, you might think of something like religion, or you go to worship and there's a ritual there. There is, of course. You might think of education. When you go into school, what happens the first day? The first day of school, the teacher starts to tell you, the students, how that classroom is going to be run, the rules or rituals of the class. So Jean believed that we organize our cultures around rituals. And one such area of rituals is in this daring people to do things. It's a ritual. And in the clip that I played for you, Shepherd kind of makes that clear. Okay, there's a certain order as to the daring. What's the first part of the dare, the second part of the dare? What's legitimate daring and what isn't? And so we get this breach of protocol of jumping right into the triple dog dare before we should be there. Okay, that's breaking the rules of culture, the rules of using language ritually in culture, but it happened. And because that rule is broken, boom, all of a sudden, quicker, faster than we thought, it's time for Flick to put his tongue right there on that pole. Okay, now it's a fake pole. It's not really steel, it's plastic, it has a hole, it's got a suction pump to hold his tongue on it. So don't fear that something terrible is happening to the actor there. That's the way they did that scene. But think about that scene in terms of that ritual. He gets his tongue up there because even though the protocol is breached, he's got to go forward all the way to the end. I suppose he didn't have to, but he's got to go forward to the end because that's the way culture is. We play through culture and do it. He's got to do it. His image with his friends is at stake. He can't just say, no, I'm not going to do it. In where I grew up in Chicago, we would have called him a scaredy cat. Ah, you're a scaredy cat. But of course, going on in the background, and you saw that with the rest of the scene there, is all this stuff about parents and dads and different assumptions that people had about society and culture, even urban legends about what happens when you put your tongue on something. All that's in the background there, part of the culture. But right now, it's the thing, and he has to do it. So he puts his tongue on that pole, and of course it gets stuck. That's what the ritual would naturally lead to. No way around it. It was going to happen. So Shepherd said to me, Quinn, when this happens, person A, person B, country A, country B, if it's warfare, and look out. And so that's what Jean Shepherd was trying to do with that scene. The dares come, the dares are ramped up, and when the dares get to a certain level, by culture, by society, there's a certain end that's going to happen. Now, one little bit about that scene that's kind of interesting. The bell rings almost immediately. Okay? Suppose the school bell on the playground did not ring right away. What would have happened? Think about that a little bit. Talk about that with your friends who enjoy the movie. Because Jean said to me, look, we had to have that happen and then have that bell go off so that Flick gets abandoned by his friends and everybody has to run inside to set up other things that I talk about, such as the guilt trip that gets laid on Ralphie and Schwartz and so on in other videos. Thanks for watching, and if you'd like a copy of my book, I'll put a link down below. You can subscribe to this YouTube channel there too. And please, if you'd like a personal copy while I still have them, if there's a link down below, you can order a copy and I will sign it. Your friends and family will open the book and see it's signed just for them. In fact, tell me how to sign it. Thanks so much.